Up here in northwest England in the Pennines, the onset of spring is frustratingly slow. The cool, changeable weather has extended the snowdrop season, and the forsythia is trying its best to open. The comings and goings in the garden are nothing out of the ordinary, but we've had reed bumpetings on daily visits, and it looks like the sparrows have taken over last year's great tick box. This cold, unsettled weather hasn't encouraged the frogs to spawn much. It's another cold day, and it's only 4 degrees, and we're in the first week in March. Over the last few years, spring has become frustratingly slow up here in the hills in Lancashire. Compared to a few years ago, the mild and sunny weather brought out the frogs during the day, with what I call a mass spawning. It gave me a chance to try out my new underwater camera. According to the weather forecast, snow is due round here next week, so we can only see what will happen, but spring will eventually arrive. Again this year, spawning has been secretive and slow. It's the 7th of March and the cold weather's returned, and during the night the ponds have frozen over. So what I'm going to do this morning, I'm going to break the ice and shove the frog spawn back under the water to protect it. This is my mountain and scree garden. And many years ago, after many walks in the Alps, I decided I'd build and replicate a miniature alpine garden in my front garden. Now it's an alpine scree garden, so we don't want any weeds in it. And when we come to about the end of April, May and June, it will be a blaze of colour. The wind has veered back to the north, and we're in for several days of cold weather again. More snow is forecast, so I'm making sure that the bird feeders are topped up with Joel Ashton's excellent seed mixture. More heavy snow showers with a strong northeasterly wind. And on the 10th of March, overnight, the heaviest snowfall of the winter, bringing Christmas card scenes back into the garden. Because of the heavy snowfall, I'm brushing off snow to ensure the birds get to their food. And I'm giving extra rations on the bird table. I hope under the ice the frog spawn is protected. The snow has drifted, nothing extensive, but we don't want to break any limbs through slipping. The strong March sunshine begins to melt and soften the snow, and the early spring flowers have come to no harm. The ice has started to melt. Over the next 2 days, most of the snow has gone. The weather turns very mild during the evening and the frogs are back. A quick count shows there are around 30. The next morning the spawning has finished, with just a few hanging on for another day. It's gales and rain again, but the very mild weather encourages another night's spawning. The next 2 days the weather turns much colder again, but this time the wind is in the west. An overnight frost has iced over the ponds, but the frog spawn is still okay and developing. Yesterday I bought 2 new water butts with a capacity of 420 litres. From now on the pond will be topped up by rainwater which drains from this back roof and all the back of the roof there, so we should have plenty of water. It had a shower yesterday and it's already filled 1.5 butts up, so I've already got 300 litres. I haven't noticed this before. The wood pigeons are eating the ivy berries. Last year, when with all the hot weather, I made the mistake of filling the pond up with tap water and it's caused a lot of blanket weed. That was a big mistake. So now today, it's a lovely day, it's about 15 or 16 degrees. I'm going to take it all out, lay it on the side and get all the snails out of it. And then from now on, we're going to top up with rainwater. This is the tedious bit now, going through all the blanket weed and getting all the wildlife out of it, into the bucket and then back into the pond. We don't want to lose anything really, and then I'll put this stuff on the compost heap and hopefully it'll rot down and there won't be any wildlife still left in it. Tomorrow it's the spring equinox and we're just going to do a bit of tidying up in the garden. Because it's a wildlife garden, we leave everything loose and let nature take its course. We don't shred the hollow stalks because we just put them on the compost heap because there might be still some insects hibernating inside them. We shred the solid stalks so they rot down quicker on the compost heap. I've just seen a mouse, it's come out of that bush there and it's eating the birdseed. It looks like a field mouse because it has large ears. We're back in my scree garden again at the front of the house, and several years since I planted this purple saxifrage. It did very well for the first few years, then we had a series of hot summers and droughts and it almost shriveled up. So what I did, I took a cutting and repotted it and kept it in the more shaded part at the back of the house, and it's thrived. So now I've got a new specimen now which is ready for planting out again in a more shaded part in this scree garden. Some bright sunshine but still cool. This has brought out just a few of the early spring flowers. Finally, through all the very changeable weather, the tadpoles are starting to hatch. Today is a more settled day, so I'm spreading well-rotted homemade compost on certain areas of the garden. But nothing else, certainly no chemical fertilisers and pesticides, because it's a wildlife garden and we care. It's the 27th of March and it really does feel like a spring day. Some of the tadpoles are hatching, and up and down the area I can hear the lawns being mowed. But we aren't going to mow our lawns, we're going to just see what wild flowers grow. And I can just see there's all the early spring flowers coming. So that's about it till the end of March. I'll see you in April. At last, we've got a bit of spring colour in the garden. But I always feel sad when the snowdrops are finishing. The last few are just about holding on. They've done us proud this year.